are generally beautiful. I just love it. Throughout this video, I'll be showing you this mountain back to the right behind our house, because you'll see how the landscape changes as it gets clouded over and all that. That happens a lot now in rainy season. But for today, I would like to take you along in a day in the life as a homeschool mom of 4 young children. Like I mentioned, we live in Costa Rica. I usually start my days pretty early because I'm an early bird, and so I'm often up at 4 or 5 in the morning doing my own projects, blogging, graphic design, and whatever all. And then at about 6 is when everyone else gets up, and I stop that and we start our regular day. This morning, I took a moment just to enjoy the outside again. Many mornings are sunny, but this morning seems especially bright. Probably because it rained so much last night. It is rainy season, like I mentioned too, so it rains pretty much every afternoon. I thought it would rain today, but by the end of the day, you can see it didn't do more than sprinkle. Here on my back or side porch, I have laundry hanging kind of under the roof overhang. It's there from the day before, as it hadn't gotten dry the day before, or actually from 2 days earlier. So it's hopefully will dry today. But yes, there's the mountain, our backyard, the chickens, the dogs. After we get up, my husband and the children soon go out to feed the animals, and I start my day. Oh, there you see I have some little tomatoes growing. Just trying to grow a few little things. I've been finding out more and more how I like the color green. You'll see it reflected in how I painted my house as well. But yes, once I'm ready for the day and the others go out to feed the animals, I start with making breakfast and all that sort of stuff. We hear a lot about slow mornings. And more when I see some videos, especially of other homeschool moms, they talk of slow mornings. And in a moment, I'll tell you why that doesn't happen at our place. Often, as I'm starting the breakfast or before, I get a load of laundry going this time. Yes, that laundry hanging outside was from 2 days ago, so I have a bunch of laundry again and starting a load again to see if we can dry it all today, as the morning is starting off nice. And I didn't know it, but often it rains in the afternoon, and this time it didn't really, and yet it was cloudy all afternoon, so the sun wouldn't have dried well anymore. The sooner I get the laundry out, the more chances there are that it will all dry the same day. Back to the thought of slow mornings. I almost felt bad. We weren't starting our slow homeschool mornings, sitting around, slowly making breakfast. I don't know how people do that. I came to the conclusion that I could accept that our family culture was different. And I know many others. I don't know if it has to do with living in Costa Rica, if elsewhere it would be different, such as in Canada or the US. But our mornings certainly don't start slow. They start kind of with a bang. My children wake up around between 5:30 and 6 usually. Sometimes they sleep a bit longer. But they're usually, if I don't get food into their tummies, especially some of the younger ones, within half an hour, then the meltdowns start and everything like that. So I try to make breakfast as soon as possible. It can be granola and whatever, but I always try to add some protein. So fresh eggs from our hens is the way to go. We have breakfast together, and my husband leaves for work around 7 or so. And I close the gate. The sunshine felt so good this particular day. I mean, it's usually sunny in the morning, but I don't know why this day, when I decided to film this, was extra sunny, extra nice. After he leaves for work, the girls start doing their dishes, and I have to help them out yet, but they're doing the main part of the dishes, and I just go in later and finish cleaning up. It's such a nice thing to have girls that can help already. Though I try to work with them, I don't want them to feel like my slaves. But I usually start with laundry, things like that. Putting out a load, putting in a fresh one, hanging out laundry. I also do other cleaning up, making up all the beds, all that kind of stuff in the mornings while they are doing the dishes. I also comb the girls and make sure they're all dressed for the day about as soon as possible after breakfast. And when they are the ones that don't have duties, or when they're done, they can play. Sometimes they have to do... I usually tell them, especially the oldest two, they have to clean up the house and give it a quick sweeping. But the youngest two often are playing at this time. And when the older ones are done cleaning up the house and sweeping, they are free to play too. At least till it's time to go to school. Hanging laundry takes a lot of my time. But it is so nice to be able to do it, to hang it out, to hopefully get it to dry. Back to that thought about slow mornings again. I just realized it didn't work for us, and that was okay. Our afternoons tend to be slower. But our mornings, I like to get things done early. It probably makes a difference that I'm an early bird. But it seems to work. I see homeschool families who homeschool in the afternoon. They start with their slow mornings, whatever. I'm almost sounding sarcastic here because I don't know how it would work for us. But I'm perfectly glad if it works for someone else. But then they, in the afternoon, study. And my children by afternoon, maybe it's because we start our day the way we do, but they certainly are not up for studying anymore, and I don't have the mental energy anymore either for that. I know some people, especially those who are night owls, would I know people who would be fine with that, but not at our place. Besides the laundry, I make the beds, I clean up other things, the kitchen work that the girls can't do because I maybe haven't trained them enough, but they don't do it all. I also often try, I don't get it done every time, but I often try to get some meat in the crock pot or something for lunch, because the way the school morning works out, it just is better if I get it ready beforehand. We have over 50 hens because we sell eggs to the neighbors. Some of them are newer and just starting to lay. The girls bring in the eggs and I put them away, and throughout the day we have neighbors occasionally coming by to buy some eggs. Sometimes it's just 5 or 10, sometimes it's 30 at a time. That's kind of how it goes. I finished cleaning up as well with any dishes the girls may have left or aren't able to do, or things that I've just gotten cleaned up, and a bit more laundry yet before we go to school. Now, our house is small, so we do school at our church house, which is just a kilometer down the road. So that means leaving home to homeschool. I really like it for several reasons. For one, I'm not distracted with my housework, which is always abundant around me if we do stay at home. And for another, it's just nice to have more room, nice to get out of the house, nice to have time to dedicate to my girls, to their studies, and all of that. I try to get the house cleaned up before we leave, but sometimes they clean it up and then they've played with stuff and it's time to leave around 8:30, so we just leave it as it is. lock up, and we head to school. Now this morning, you can see that by now, at the time of this video, it was between 8:30 and 9 at this moment. And by now, it's clouding over the mountain already. Usually then, soon after lunch, it starts raining, but this particular day, it just stayed cloudy, sprinkled a few times in the afternoon, and didn't rain till late. But there you can see the tops of the mountains are covered. When we get to school, I filmed this on a Monday. Usually I have to set up the desks and all that on Monday mornings because I clean it up over the weekend or put it away so that other children can't be pulling out my girls' books and things. But on Monday mornings it means getting a little bit set up. Otherwise I would be able to skip that step and jump right into school. We were given these desks and I just love it. That each can have their own space, and I have my desk. I get out my teacher planner and look for the day's plan. We start off with circle time. It's where we work on memory work, do the group subjects together, do some singing, some Bible verses, and all that sort of stuff. On Monday mornings, we do a lesson of science. On other days, sometimes we do geography, sometimes we do health and manners. Sometimes we do Costa Rican history. 2 days a week we do Mondays and Thursdays we do science, and that's what I was doing, a lesson of the good and the beautiful, science for little hearts and hands. We just love it. After that, the girls all go on to their own schoolwork, each to their own subject. They usually start with math. I have a first grader and a second grader. They start doing their math lessons. I explain it to them and they can work pretty independently. And once they're done with math, they go on with their language arts, with their other individual subjects that they have to do. While they are working independently, often they still need plenty of help because they're first and second graders. But sometimes, especially with their math lesson, they can do it on their own. So during that time, I have some weights that I lift and just walk around in the building. I'm available. At 10 o'clock, we have a 15-minute break. We have a trampoline and swings and a slide behind our church house. And they are usually free to play whatever they want. Sometimes we play a game like tag together or something like that. We also have my preschooler. My kindergartner, she can do some workbooks if she wants. But she and my little boy are free to run around as they want. My in-laws live there too, so they can go and be with their abuela, with their grandma if they want to as well, which is a huge blessing. At about 11:30, we head back home, and by that time they're usually getting hungry, so it means quickly going and finishing up making the lunch. Thankfully this time the chicken was made because sometimes I don't get meat started beforehand and then I have more work trying to figure out how to quickly get meat ready. Cooked rice, got beans out of the fridge and heated them up. And I made sort of like a simple guacamole because we had extra avocados. Aguacates, I'm used to calling them. And so that was our lunch. Meanwhile, the children are usually free and can play as they wish. And sometimes they get noisy. But I love to hear them having fun. As I'm letting the rice finish cooking, I can check out on the mountain again. It's about the same as before, still cloudy, but the laundry is hanging and drying, and I'm just thankful with a breeze. Maybe it'll all dry. Before it was quite a bit dry. After that, we have lunch once it's all ready, usually around 12:30. My husband often manages to come home, and we have that time, and then he plays a little bit with the children if there's a chance or something, and about 1, he heads back to work. The girls start their dishes as soon as they I'm trying to get them into the habit of starting their dishes as soon as they get up from the table. I have to work on that too. And I then go and bring in, most days, right after lunch, unless it starts raining sooner than sooner. If not, I bring in the laundry that is dry already. and the rest I hang under roof because it could rain and I just don't want to have to run out in case that it would rain, because many afternoons about this time it is ready to send a big shower. Now in rainy season, we have our dry season where it doesn't rain at all for several months, but that's how it is now in rainy season. After I have everything cleaned up, it is what we call quiet time. I don't always enforce it, but the children have to play quietly. I nap a little bit with my little boy. Hardly naps anymore either, so sometimes I have him nap depending on if he's having a grumpy day, or other times I let him just play with the children. Sometimes they have to each be in their own place, or sometimes I just let them all play quietly together. This particular day, I was babysitting a neighbor girl, had her over, so while I had my quiet time, they just played. Once I get up from a rest, then I start with whatever needs to be done. This day there was a pile of laundry because it was over half a week's worth of laundry, and so I folded that up. Usually, like I say, it's raining at this time, and another thing, usually I do some reading for the children and have the girls do piano practice. Today, because they had a friend over, I let them be free from that. Instead of read alouds and piano practice, they could just play this afternoon most of the time. And so I just did some laundry, and then some other neighbor girls, again, because it was a nice day, other neighbor girls came over and started to, and asked to play a while. Now, I love it that they can, even if it can get noisy. I'll be honest that sometimes I feel like the old woman who lived in a shoe and had so many children she didn't know what to do, and the neighbor children come over. But I know that I can always tell them not. I do often enough tell them that they can't come over right now or just for a certain time if I'm busy. I love it that my girls can have friends and that option of socialization. And these girls that do come over are generally well behaved. And I love to hear them laughing and playing together. And I just need to be there supervising. Of course, you don't see all the interruptions to my work while in these videos, but I mean, there's bumps and bruises and minor squabbles and all that, so I do have plenty of mom interruptions. That is normal life as a mom, right? The girls asked me how they could earn money. So we had started a little project where they sell these bags of frozen flavored milk and also some jello, little bags, half a cup, and just for a little price for the neighbor children. We usually don't make that many sales, but especially, I guess, since we're gone in the mornings and the afternoons are usually rainy, but today with a nice afternoon, then we were making quite a bit of sales. The children were playing, so I figured, well, I'd do it for them this time. Make some more because we sold out on all the flavored milk. So I'm preparing little packages to freeze so that when more neighbor children come over, they can buy them. By now, late afternoon, about 4 p.m, the mountain is a whole lot foggier. And I sent the neighbor children home, except the one we were taking care of, though she left after a little while when her mom got home. And then it's usually time to start with baths, with cleaning up, with getting ready for the evening. I love this time of the day too. While I love the mornings more, by now I'm feeling a bit tired of the day, but I love to turn on the lights, close up the house, settle things down for the evening, or whatever needs to be done. At about 5, I start finishing up the last of the outdoor tasks, whether watering plants or making sure the toys are brought in, getting some of the children bathed. My husband usually comes home around 5:30ish. And if he does, well, sometimes it's later because of work, but if he does, then he usually takes a bit of time to play with the children. And if it's raining, they have to be inside, but this day they could enjoy the outdoors down behind our yard. They have a little place where they love to go. And I started on supper. I used some cooked rice, some shredded sort of like sausage, eggs, a little bit of chopped up onions and salt. And then just mix it all together and fry it as patties. It's something they like pretty good. They eat it with ketchup and mayonnaise usually, or some salsa or something like that. And it's a pretty good meal that they like. That's simple enough. I usually have everything on hand. And our suppers are usually not such a heavy meal as lunch. Maybe we do have some, enough to fill, but not that heavy. I fry these as patties and then cut up some cucumber and carrot yet for supper, and we were good to go. Again, I filmed this on a Monday. Usually there's a couple evenings a week where my husband isn't home, so it's up to me then. And then I'll admit they often get even lighter suppers. But Mondays we try to set aside for family fun night. Just a little bit extra special as a family. Sometimes we watch some video together or play some games. We set up the table a little bit fancier just to make it special. Today my 2-year-old asked, "When are we using those cups?" He saw them up in the cabinet. And then when one of my girls came in and I saw how excited she got about seeing the table, I realized again it's these little things that build the memories, little efforts that build the memories of what they think is special. If you are a busy family too, I encourage you to come up with some family fun night or whatever you need to be able to have that special time as a family. Extra. We're together a lot, but just extra effort to being a family. I don't make complicated meals for this because it's not my thing, first of all, and then it's not enjoyable because it gets too stressful. But just something simple with a little bit of extra decoration, and the children know it's something special. We have supper together, and after that, we often, this evening they watched a video a little while. I often either join them. Actually, before that, I forgot to mention, yes, the girls do their dishes. Again, most evenings, if it's already bedtime, if we've gotten too late, then I do it all. They do some of it, but it's always up to me to finish cleaning up the kitchen once they're either playing with their dad or once he's tucking them in bed. I finish cleaning up anything that I need to. There are days when everything is a mess and I don't get it all done. But then again, there are these good days when we do get most everything cleaned up before bedtime. In the evening, we had also sold out our Jell-O packages, so I finished those up in the evening. So I thank you for joining me. I hope this will have been of inspiration to you or an encouragement of ways that you could set up your own day, and that we do the best, be the best stewards we can with the time we have, the time God has given us, and always learning and growing and trying to find His balance between work and rest. See you in the next video. Bye.
so that's how it comes out.
Yeah. So it climbs on, just don't touch its wings.
But how can Daddy get him out?
I have to wait and see.
When he has